Welcome to the Heart-Centered Entrepreneur Podcast. I want you to be rich. Yes, I want abundant financial success for your business. But I don't just care about your business making money. I care about you too. I want you to be rich in happiness, in the impact you make, in your relationships, and in how you give back. I'm Anna. I built my six-figure business as a side hustle while I was pregnant with my daughter in 2016. Now I've helped dozens of women do the same. I'm here to help you build a profitable, heart-centered, fully booked business with the latest tips on sales and visibility, with proven mindset hacks, and sneak peeks behind the scenes with what's working right now in the online space and in my business. Ready to make more money with heart? Let's go. Hello, friends. I'm so excited. Number one, because it's the end of the week. Happy end of the week. But also because my beautiful client friend and designer, RuthAnn, is on the podcast. We've had her before, but I just realized that we've never really had her share more of her passion and expertise around design. You may know that she has done my website, has done my branding, but you may not know that often I will give my clients design advice and credit RuthAnn to it, right? Like, this PDF doesn't have enough white space around the margins. The reason I know this is because RuthAnn is always telling me that white space around the margins presents luxury, right? And I just thought it would be fun for like the whole heart-centered entrepreneur community and podcast to hear just some of your best tips and strategies, because I feel like you are such an expert when it comes to design, aesthetic, branding for heart-centered entrepreneurs. And I'm excited to hear from you today.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm thrilled to be here and chatting with you.
Yay. Okay. Why don't we start out and just give people, in case they have never met you before, like a brief rundown of like what you do, what led you to being a designer for your business? Like, was that your dream as a little girl? And then we can go from there.
Sounds great. So yes, my name is RuthAnn Rafiq, and I am a brand and website designer, and I help women entrepreneurs really up-level their online presence so it doesn't look DIY and it's professional and polished. So they look credible and like they build that instant trust when people go to their website. And I just absolutely adore what I do. I could do this for the rest of my life. And so I'm just so happy that I am doing literally my dream job and it's able to be like on my time and stuff. But I got into design. I've always been creative, like ever since I was little. I remember when I was 7, I drew Lion King drawings when the Lion King came out. I know this is super dating me right now, but I sold my Lion King drawings to our neighbors. Like I would just go around the neighborhood with my little drawings and sell them for 25 cents a drawing. And it's just, I've always been creative. I've always loved it. And when I graduated college, I got my graphic design degree, and I couldn't really find anything that I really like loved. It never really felt like a job never really fit for me. I had a lot of different creative jobs. I was a wedding photographer for a wedding studio. I was working at a printing company. There's a lot of things I was doing, but nothing like really fit until I was reading the blog of this girl who was doing brand and website design. And I was religiously following her blog. This is back in 2015. And she was just describing her life, and I fell in love. And I was like, I think I can do this. Like, I can figure this out and do this for myself. And so it took me a while. It was kind of a slow start. It was a side hustle for me in the first 3 years. But thankfully, I got you on board. Like when I was fourth year in, I think, and when I went full time, I was like, I just need some help. And in the beginning, I just remember those early days so well of wanting to do it all yourself. And I see this for my clients so many times. Like they're trying to do it themselves. You're ambitious. Of course you can figure it out yourself, but it's going to take you a long time. And so for me, it took me a while, but I have gotten to the point in my business where I'm just so happy. I work with dream clients all the time, dream projects. I just love it so much.
That I feel like we know each other, but I learned some new things about you. And it's so fun to like think about like who we were as little girls, right? And like the things like you talked about, like your Lion King drawings, or like I remember, I think I told you, like I had this little newsletter I would like write on Microsoft Word, and my mom would help me print at Office Depot on purple printer paper. And I would send my friends this like a newspaper, and then later like a magazine. And it's just so interesting to see like these little inclinations that we had as little girls, like how we carry them today.
I did that too. I wrote like a newspaper about our family, like, "This is what my siblings are doing," and it was so funny. Looking back on those, it's so fun to read them, just because it's such a beautiful part, like you're saying, of, like, who you are and your creativity that's there, and tapping into that as an adult is so much fun.
Yes. Okay. I have 1,000 questions for you. But the first thing that came up for me is like, I think a lot of people too will resonate to this episode who are creatives. And I really feel like in some ways, like we are all creatives. Like I feel like as a coach, I'm doing creative work with a client, right? I'm like showing up and like supporting them in this live kind of vulnerable container. But I do feel like as a designer, you are being especially vulnerable because you are like putting out your work of art, right? You're like, I'm creating a logo, I'm creating branding, like I'm creating these little masterpieces, and I'm vulnerably like asking my clients, like, do you like these, right? Like, as you have grown in this job, like what is the hardest thing and the most rewarding thing about having a creative job, I guess?
Exactly what you mentioned. You do feel like you're pouring your heart and soul into something and you present it to them and you really don't know how they're going to react. And it is challenging because sometimes you do get really attached to a design and you spend a lot of time and care and crafting this thing. And then you present it and you're like, I really hope this person likes this thing. And, sometimes like the best thing is when my clients email me right away after I send the proof. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm in love, but I'm going to take time to like fill out your questionnaire, but I just love it. And that makes me so happy. But, obviously not everyone's like that. And so sometimes people take the full time to review it and you're just on pins and needles. In the beginning, it was very challenging. I could not divorce myself from like how I felt about something and their feedback because it really meant a lot to me. And I was like, I just really think this is best for you and, that kind of thing. And the more years and time you spend working with clients, I just always have in my mind like I want the absolute best for my client. I want them to be really happy with what they have. Like it doesn't really matter what I think at the end of the day. Yes, I'm the expert. Yes, I'm going to educate them as much as I can. Like this is the reason I think this would work better than this, but at the end of the day, they are the ones who are going to be having their logo on everything, printing. I have clients who do a lot of, they're not physical businesses, but they do a lot of print collateral. So they're like printing their logo every day. They're, creating a new marketing piece. And so it's so important for me that they really love the end result. Even if it's not something I would have picked, I think it's important that they are really happy with it. So it's taken me a little while to get to this point, but and I think with anyone, your heart and soul is on a platter in the beginning because you're so new and you've never done this before and spend literally hundreds of hours on something or, dozens of hours for sure. And so I think just the longer you've been in it, the more you can kind of take yourself out of it. And it is about the client at the end of the day.
I just love that you said that. It made me tear up when you were talking about it because I love that you're normalizing this because I think like all entrepreneurs can relate to this, especially when you care, right? It's like sometimes you care so much, you almost care more than the client. And in therapy, there's this saying of like, never work harder than your client, right? And I think that really stuck with me of like, okay, like sometimes as like a designer or a coach, like we're like, no, really, but I see how good this could be. Like, you don't understand. Or even I think about this for my kids. I'm like, I want what's best for you, right? But at the end of the day, I love what you said about really surrendering to whatever it is for you, God or the universe, and trusting that, like, that person or that business or a child ultimately is their own little being, right? Like, not to make it existential, but like, I think as heart center entrepreneurs, we have to get there because we want our clients' success so bad and we're so good at what we do that it's just so important, like you said, to temper that with like, but what is best for the client at the end of the day. And I so appreciate, I feel like you did that for me when you were, I mean, years ago now, when you designed my website and brand that is still sticks with me to this day. I feel like you did such a good job of like giving me your opinion, but letting me choose, even if I probably didn't like may not chose the thing you would have chosen. And because at the end of the day, they're the one that has to go forward with that brand and website. So I really felt like you did an amazing job of like not holding back from your advice, but not being so attached to your advice that it felt like I couldn't be the one to pick.
Yes. And I remember this is something you and I hashed out years ago in the beginning because I was very attached. I wanted them to succeed, and it would break my heart when my clients like would close their business or something. I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, it was my fault. Like, what did I do wrong?" And you were like, "RuthAnn, this has nothing to do with you. Like, their success is up to them. Like, you're helping them, you're giving them an asset that's going to help them in their business, but ultimately, they're the ones who decide what to do." And so, learning how to be more allowing and like surrendering. And like you said, they're their own person and they're going to do what they want, however they want to do it. And so just trusting that I've done the best I can do and showing up for them is what's important to me.
Yeah, but I love that that was your heart-centered problem, right? Like you really want a designer or a VA or a coach that like takes your business losses personally, right? Like really wants to see you win. And so at the end of the day, like even though it sucks to be a heart-centered entrepreneur because it's like it really is the only way, right?
Yes.
So good. Okay. I just have this question. Okay. So, for people that are listening, maybe they're a coach or consultant or whatever business, like, what are some of the most common design mistakes you see online? Like, in dating now, like, the thing is, like, what gives you the ick? Have you heard of that phrase?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, like, let's play what gives you the ick website branding design version. Like, when you're on social media, like, what are the things that you're like, I cannot stand this?
Ooh. Um Great question. I think when I go to a website and I just see a banner background with words across the front, it just looks so like it could be so much more exciting. Like, yes, that's, a wonderful thing. And so many, honestly, that's like the most common hero banner that you see on a website is a background banner with the words. That's the most common thing. But I feel like if you can like really zhuzh it up with like photography or like a really cool overlay or doing like an animation or something. So sometimes when I see that, it can be a little bit like, couldn't you do a little bit more with that? And then sometimes like scrolling down, there's just blocks and blocks of like text and text. And then there's like a little picture off to the side. It's like, I mean, I understand you don't have a lot of time maybe to work on this, but it could be so much more engaging. No one even wants to read it. And that's the thing. Like your copy could be incredible, but if your design is not bringing people in, no one is going to read it or want to read it. So, a lot of people sometimes I hear they say, like, oh, you can definitely have a business without a website. And I agree. You can be very successful without a website. But if you are going to have a website, you really want it to be working for you all of the time. You just don't want it to be repelling people if they come to your site and being like, "Oh, I don't think this person knows what they're talking about," or like asking, like questioning how long you've been in business or, do your clients really get results? I think that's like the worst thing that can happen. You really want to build that instant trust and connection, and design really helps you do that. Some other things that give me the ick, I mean, obviously using a font like Comic Sans or Zafino, oh my word, like,
We
just
don't
some of
even
the
know. No, I know what Common Sans is, but like we don't even know what these fonts. I don't even know what Zafino is.
that's so funny. Well, some fonts that are just like coarse, some people think it looks great, but it's just, as a designer, it's like, oh my word. Like there's some better options out there. So yeah, some fonts, some layouts can definitely use some work.
I love that so much. Okay, thank you for letting me ask you that question. I think some things that like I've learned from you in as you've designed like my website, my brand, and also like different collateral, like a freebie and stuff like that too. I think what I've noticed that you've done differently than what I would have naturally done design wise is you really err on the side of simple. Like you really err on the side of like space. Like when I see me and my clients design stuff, it's just so crowded and it's like there's so much in there. And I just really feel like everything you create is just has an air of like spaciousness to it.
And that is really a hallmark of elevated design, like really premium looking design is space and how you use the space within the. So just think of like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. If you do like three little paragraphs of text, kind of like an address, like if you have like a little address and you put it in the bottom right hand corner and then you put like the name at the top left hand corner, it looks so cool. Like it's almost like a design right there. And it's just using the space and it's just kind of how you place things and giving it some room to breathe. So I think that is a hallmark for, great design. And I will say my design style is very like, it's kind of professional, if that makes sense. Like, I don't think I'm like an artsy designer. I don't even know if that makes sense, but I'm not like a crazy, oh, let's try all these colors and like, let's try, all of the, cramming a lot of stuff maybe in one. I'm more like, let's take it away. Let's kind of get to the root of it. Let's make it look as polished as possible. Let's make it really attractive to many people. So I think I'm kind of more of, let's make it look professional and polished and feminine. That's my natural style. It's like feminine style. And that's kind of, yeah, my bent.
I love it so much. I'm just curious because obviously, like, as a business coach, like, I help women like really simplify their business strategy, right? And I really find it like helps them make money faster. But for you, I feel like you use simplicity in design, right? And my question for you is like, why do you think simplicity is so hard, right? Like, obviously, like how you said it there, like, there's a reason why I cannot do simple design. Like, what do you think makes simplicity in design so challenging for people?
Such a great question. I think it's because we like so many things. And I think it's really hard because it's like, oh, I like this, but I also like this and I want to add this. Like, I can't just keep one thing. That's so boring. Like, but really, you do have to kind of pare down. And I remember I worked with a client one time and she did have a taste for flair. And it was challenging to kind of wrangle her in and be like, we need to pare this down. We can't use, 20 colors in this homepage. Like, we need to kind of focus on a couple primary colors, like, have some accents and not throw it all in the same thing. And I think it is because we have so many likes and we're multifaceted people. I think that's completely normal to have a lot of different things you like. You could like bright and airy, but you also could like moody and dark, and you could also like airy, but then maybe a little bit cluttered. Like, I just think it's normal for us to like a lot of things. And so when it comes to design, I think the thing that's hard for people when they're choosing a color palette or choosing a logo, you have to make a decision. And I think that's the fastest way you can grow, though, is making a decision and moving forward. I know this is when I experience a lot of growth in my own business. I would just make decisions and go. And I think it's when people are thinking about, like, oh, but I'm going to have this for the next 5 years. And like, I don't know. And I think I need another color. And, they're just kind of questioning a lot. I think you just need to go with your gut, make a decision, and then move forward.
I mean, that's a TED talk in itself. I think that's so true that simplicity, especially for women that are entrepreneurs, multi passionate, visionaries, creative, right? Like simplicity in whatever we're doing is the hardest thing. And I am such a fan of hiring experts to help us keep it simple, right? And we're like, why would I hire a business coach if they're just going to tell me these like simple things I already know, right? Like, why would I hire a branding designer if they're going to help me pick 4 colors and I could pick them? Why would I hire a fitness coach when they're just going to tell me to exercise and eat healthy, right? Like like the basics work and that's what's so mind-bending. It's so interesting, right?
100%. I was just nodding vigorously along when you said that. It's so true because you can find a color palette on Pinterest. There's a million color palettes on Pinterest. There's a million like website templates you can use. So why don't you do it? Like, why don't you pick something and stick with it and do it? It's because we are in like overwhelm of like so many decisions, and sometimes we need that person who, like you are for me, like a coach who can be like high level here. Okay, let's like not think about all that. Let's just think about this one problem. This is our, I like your little phrases, this is our fish to fry. And you're just like, let's just focus on this and we can move forward. And that's 100% how I help my clients too. Like, I am just that expert and I gather all of their information. I see their likes, their dislikes. I kind of learn their personality. And then I'm able to see with like a high level, this is what I think would work best for you. And these are the colors that I really think would represent your business well and attract your ideal clients. What do you think about this? We make a revision and we move on. So it's just like you said, like having a health coach, a regular coach, a brand designer. It is 100% true. We all know these things, but actually doing them is another story.
Yes, I love that. And I think you're someone too, Ruth Ann, that you are such an amazing coach of your clients, but you also are such a talented artist, right? And so how fun to be able to hire for me when I was hiring you, I was like, wow, I get to hire an artist on my team, right? Like again, like I don't think we have to be perfect at everything in our business. And so it's so nice because like you're able to hire like a high level branding expert, designer, website technician, right? Like for your business. And I think that, like you said, you don't need a website to start your business. And I know that I preach that, but really when I say that, I mean for like the first 90 days. Like after that, like get your shiz together and get a website because it's like that's your online business card, you know? We don't need to be relying on social media. So okay, I could talk to you all day, but tell everyone too. I know you're working on a new offer, which when you shared it with me, I was so excited because for me, I feel like when you helped me with my website, it really changed the game for how I felt in my online presence. My brand, my website, I think I've had it for over 3 years now, right? More?
I think we worked together in 2021, I think.
Yeah,
So
so
yeah,
over
4
3 years and
years.
maybe
Yeah.
4 years, right? And to this day, like still hire you on occasion to do design for me. And my branding is just so flawless. So if someone wants a taste of that, like talk to us about the type of work that you do.
Yes. So I love helping women start to finish like how we worked together, which is the brand foundations. You have to start with your strategy, and then you create the brand visuals, and then like your brand identity, and then you move into the website. And I think all of it is incredibly important. And in my master rebrand package, that's exactly what that is. So it's all of those pieces combined. It's normally a long-term partnership, so it's like 3 to 4 months, and it's really every single piece. I am there for you. I am very committed to my clients, and I show up for my clients, and we have a lot of like one-on-one calls. It's very like hands-on for me, but I love it. And those are my like, that's my signature service, and I love it so much. And so I just came out with the brand elevation essentials, which is kind of a pared down version of that because I was just noticing I would be on discovery calls with clients and they would say, I really need this, but I can't afford this. Like, and so they would just not have anything. And I had like no really great alternative to give them besides like sending them to someone else. And so I was like, how can I like help my clients in this aspect of like just having the essentials to look really great online? And so I came up with this service and I cannot tell you how excited I am. I am so thrilled about this, but it's just a pared down version of my signature service. So it's the logo, the color palette, the website, the brand style guide. So it's just like the key things that you need to start and look incredible online. Even if you have something already, this could work for you too. So I'm just so excited to offer this to people and have something at a lower price point that's extremely accessible. And yeah, I just feel like this is such a great way to, yeah, to serve my newer people out there.
I think it's such a gift, right? Because I think, I love that you offer both. You have that accessible package and I feel like I wish I would have like met you year 1 in my business because I think it's such a great or even not even year 1, but like when you're in a season of just being mindful about your investments, right? And I really hate when people online are like, "Oh, money objections are like all in your head." Like sometimes they are, but sometimes they're not, right? Like sometimes you're being really mindful about how you're spending, when you're spending, what you're spending on. And so I love that this helps make it accessible to women that are like, hey, I'm still working on building up my income, but I know that a brand, I know that a website is going to help me build up that income.
Yes, 100%. Especially if you understand the value and you don't have, $10,000 to drop on a brand new website. This is the perfect solution. And it could just get, because we still do the brand strategy and the key visuals and then the website. So it's just everything that you need. And yeah, I'm so excited to offer this.
Amazing. Okay, if someone's listening to this in real time too, I know you have something special you're offering.
Yes. So I am doing a giveaway for this new offer, and I have never done a giveaway before, but this lines up perfect because when this airs, I'm going into my ninth year of business. So this is a celebration of that. And also, like, excited to unveil this offer as well. But I am so excited to offer this, yeah, as a giveaway and just see like who would be a worthy recipient of this service. And yeah, I can't wait to give it to someone. And so I hope you can apply and see if you win.
So amazing. Number one, happy 9 years in business.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. And maybe tell us too, like, what feedback have you gotten from clients, or what would they say is like the most transformative thing about working with you and or finishing their website and brand? Because I feel like you said, it's like there's a huge payoff. Like you have a brand and website for like 5, 10 years, but like you're investing 3 months of time, you're investing energy, right? Like what would you say is the biggest carrot for people?
The biggest carrot. I would say it's just feeling that incredible confidence. Like you already know what a great service you provide. You already know like how well you show up for your clients. And this is just something for people to instantly see that. Like they can see that credibility and how good you are at your job. And it just helps you really stand out with that confidence that you are capable and trustworthy, and it really reflects your personality too. And I recently worked with someone and she was just like, I cannot tell you how much confidence this is giving me. Like, I can market my business. I'm always sending people to my site. I can't wait to share it. And it just helps your business grow, not directly, but very much indirectly.
So beautiful. I love that. Okay. Any final words or thoughts as we wrap up?
I think, just starting with the basics is just when you're thinking about your brand and website, always think about like showing up as yourself. And it's hard to put blinders on, especially in the beginning. But I encourage you to kind of stay in your lane and just know that you have something valuable to share. And just keep that in mind. And you can really showcase your personality with your words, with your actions, like how you're showing up, and the visuals will come. If you're not ready to do that right now, the visuals will come, but just focus on establishing your own personal brand, because that's the thing that's selling people is you.
Especially right now, especially in 2025, I do feel like personal branding is just queen, right? Like, obviously, there's like marketing trends and changes, but I just think it is so essential to where we're at online right now.
Yes, I like that you said that. Like the trends will always come and go. There's always going to be something new. There's always going to be something scary, maybe like, oh, this is going away or this is coming in. Like, what are we going to do? But you are the thing that makes your business unique. You are the driving force. Like, you are the one that's magnetic to your clients, and you are the one who can solve your clients' problems. And so, just, yeah, trust that and trust yourself and just let yourself shine.
So beautiful. Thank you so much, Ruth Ann, for joining today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks for hanging out today. Please hit that subscribe button so you can make sure to stay updated anytime a new episode drops. And I would love for you to join me in my free Facebook community. It's called The Heart Centered Entrepreneur. We discuss the podcast episodes. I regularly go live and do free trainings. And you may even meet your newest biz bestie. So you can join at heartcenteredcommunity.com. It's absolutely free, and I cannot wait to see you in there.